Hey, what's up guys? We're back again with the best 5 decks in Clash Royale. These are the decks that the best players in the world use to triumph over all the other top pros and reach the highest ranks. At the end of the season, where every match matters, pros are playing their favorite decks because they can't afford to lose. And each of the top 5 decks has massive outplay potential, so if you're better than your opponent, you're almost certainly gonna win. It's time to break down the 5 best decks in the game and assert dominance. Lots of love to everyone that's using critical SirTag to make all the daily videos possible. Both the rank 5 and 6 player in the world ran the exact same deck with the 2.4 elixir speedy cycle. And the crazy thing is, the 5th best deck in the game is actually better without champions. Jump into the game against someone that finished 533 in the world, a true test of this deck's strength. Let's see if we can beat him. Definitely gonna be a difficult match, but I believe. So we're gonna go in for an Ice Spirit, and wow, he's gonna have a Leap Barbarians with Royal Ghost. So generally, whenever we see this, I was gonna say it would probably end up being like a 3 Musketeer deck, but after seeing Princess, it's gonna be Rail Recruits with E-Barbs. It's gonna be like the old school pedal deck. Man, that deck is kind of crazy. Anyway, the big benefit of running this deck over all the other ones with Mighty Miner and all the champions is you're gonna be able to cycle way more firecrackers, and if you cycle more firecrackers, you can get to the evolution a bit faster. Also, notice how the firecracker, even when it's not evolved, is doing a lot of damage. Kind of ridiculous. I have no elixir, so I can't deal with that. If I went and dropped bats, the bats would have died to the explosion of the wall breakers, so it wasn't worth it for us. Instead, I want to go for wall breakers, see if we could find some damage on our opponent. It didn't work out. So I'm going to go in for a Goblin Surround, and I'm going to try to get bats and Ice Spirit down on his Goblin Drill. I think we might be okay. I like that the goblins are frozen as soon as they pop out of the drill. That's one of my favorite things. If the Ice Spirit is able to still freeze the drill, it frees the goblins too. So what do we do here? Oh man. He's just making me drop wall breakers on defense to go and kite the bandit to the other side. It's a bit annoying, but it will work out in our favor. For 2 elixir, we're able to counter 3 fully here. So I wonder what we're... Oh, wow, that was even better than I thought. Wall breakers, you countered the bandit for a +1 elixir trade and then gave me 500 damage. Kind of a broken card. I like it. I vibe with it. He's saying well played. He doesn't know that I'm a fool and I didn't even know what I was doing. Worked out though. We'll take it. So I'm going to go in for a firecracker in the back, and if we're playing against a top ladder player, you guys know the deal. He is likely going to make some outplays against us throughout the game. So I need to get my damage early on so I can have a commanding lead. I'm going to go for an Ice Spirit here. It will freeze the Royal Ghost. Nice stuff. We can go for a Bomb Tower here as well. And I think I want to log on the Princess, but I also don't want to miss the recruits. So I'm going to wait for the recruits to get a bit closer, and we're going to log on everything. Then I'm going to go in for bats here, and with no Princess in cycle, this could work out in our favor, because the bats will give us some stellar counter push. One of the big negatives of his deck is he doesn't have great anti-air in his deck. So if he doesn't have Princess in cycle, then he's not able to kill the bats. He has to go for like a Magic Archer, and the Magic Archer is really struggling there. Okay, I can go in for a Firecracker, and then I think we want to just go for a log so we can mitigate his Magic Archer from locking onto us. We can finish that thing off, and notice how I'm just going to spam everything that I have at the river. This is how you do. When you're playing Firecracker, you pop off with unreasonable amount of aggression. It's really, really good. Look at the damage I'm getting. It's basically a poison, and the guy's yawning and he loses his tower. I guess it was just that easy to watch your tower die. It makes sense, man. There's literally nothing you can do when the Firecracker does 1,000 damage to your tower, because literally it's stacking poisons on his tower, and there's just no recourse. There's no blocking. There's no monk ability. There's nothing you can do but watch the game just evaporate in our favor. GG and well played. Of course, beating a top ladder player with this deck is pretty fun, but I also feel a little bit despicable for doing it. Firecracker Evolution is the definition of no skill. Every time you play it, you get damage that you don't deserve. Vitor solidified his spot at rank 4 in the world with this Rail Giant Rail Ghost deck. It's time to have fun with another evolution, and this time we have leveled up the ranks and we are playing against someone at 41 in the world finish. So this guy, he's already activating King Tower. Not that bad for me, honestly. You know, we can just plop down a Royal Giant on the right-hand side and say, hey, that Lava Hound, we're not going to deal with that today. Instead, we're going to go and pop down a Phoenix and see what we can do. Obviously, the Inferno Dragon is one of the best counters in the entire game to Royal Giant, so this could be tragic. We'll see if we're able to walk with a W here. I have to play rather perfectly. I'm going to go for a Fireball, and then I think we can go pull back the Inferno Dragon utilizing our Goblins. Always want to pull back the Inferno Dragon when the Inferno Dragon is closer to the river, because if you drop it too close to your tower, then the Inferno Dragon will walk back and it'll just take your entire tower out. If this guy froze me, I would have lost the game. Would have not got the Electric Spirit down in time. Unfortunately, he decided not to do that. So I can go for an Electric Spirit, Rail Ghost, and then get back to a Phoenix, but definitely going to take a lot of damage here. The cool thing about this is the Royal Ghost is going to force out some elixir on the other side. Unfortunately, it is Goblins, so that's a +1 trade for him. Smart decision for him to go for that full surround. And obviously, if they're a top 41 player in the world, not going to give me that many openings. Every single defense, every single mechanical play is going to be perfect from him. So how are we going to make this happen? Because if we go other side, we're going to go right into an Inferno Dragon. Not going to be good for me. Instead, I think we got to go Goblins, Electro Spirit, Fisherman, and see if we can go in for like a Royal Ghost as well, maybe. Yeah, it's not great. It's definitely not good. We can go Barbell here, and we can go Phoenix and save our Fireball. I can't go for a Fireball. I think I'm going to go Ghost instead. Yeah, you know what? Actually, I can Fireball this. If I knock back the Inferno Dragon, we're not going to take that much damage anymore. That worked out perfectly. He fed me with the Fireball. And with the Royal Ghost still staying alive, we are going to force out more Elixir. He did mess up the Goblins, actually. Wow, I told you guys he wouldn't mess up, and he did. I'm surprised. Anyway, we're going to go for a Fisherman on the left-hand side, so the Scouts and Dragons lock onto that. I guess one of the big negatives of this deck, from what I'm noticing, is we don't have amazing answers to Inferno Dragon. So I think we have to go for an Electro Spirit to go and reset that. If I have the chance to, I will be doing that every single time. We can go Barbarians. So we're trying to go for Barbarrel, and then see if we can go in for, like, Royal Ghost on the other side. Oh, come on. No, it didn't take out the tower. That's awful for me. I need to just keep spamming, because if I don't, then I'm going to lose. I need to just keep spamming, I might have to Fireball on an Inferno Dragon, or will that take out the tower by itself? I think it does take out the tower by itself, so we're chilling. We can go for a Fireball here. We're going to lose the tower anyway, so I'm not going to spend any extra Elixir. I know that the tower is definitely forfeit. I think I want to go Goblins here, and then I can get a Phoenix down after the Goblins are going to get destroyed. We can also maybe go for an Electro Spirit if I need to. Oh, yo, I'm just dead. I'm not going to beat this guy. So I think one of the main negatives of this deck is playing against people that are extremely good at the game that are also running Balloon when they've got Inferno Dragon and they're also going to have Barbarians. Unless the Rail Giant Evolution seriously takes a tower here. But I think the Fireball takes me out, right? It's going to be a close game. Barely going to lose this game against a top 41 player in the world. And he had 600 HP on his tower. Despite having Evolved Barbarians and Inferno Dragon, we still made the game really close, only having Phoenix as our sole anti-air defense. So if you can almost beat someone that's better than you in one of the most difficult matchups for the deck, that's a huge seal of approval from me. And the third best deck in Clash Royale is Hog Rider Earthquake. It's the only deck today that's better with champions. But if you don't have Mighty Miner, use Valkyrie or Knight. Yo, another top ladder player. This guy finished 806 in the world, and he's running Battle Healer in his banner, so I wonder if it's going to be an Elixir Golem deck. So we got to get a redemption arc. We lost the last game. We're currently 1-1. We want a positive win ratio out here. I'm going to go in for a Hog Rider, and I could go and bombard him with a Firecracker. And we're back to our beloved Firecracker, the most overpowered evolution. Wow, we got some damage on the tower. That's nice. He wasn't able to go in for a crisp Tornado timing to deny all damage. We're going to go for a Firecracker here, splash onto the Firecracker onto the tower, and he's going to arrows. Doesn't hit the tower. He's not able to because the Firecracker was so far up. Ooh, is he going to be running Royal Giant, or is he going to be running a Ram Rider deck? It's going to be Ram Rider or Royal Giant. Don't know which one yet. So I think we want to go in for an Ice Spirit here. I can also maybe activate King Tower if he goes in for the Monk ability. I was really hoping to go for the Monk ability, so I didn't want to log. I was like, yo, waiting for him to drop it. Then I'll go in for my log. But he didn't want to give me the King Tower activation just yet. All right, so I'm going to go for a Hog Rider, and I can bombard him with a Firecracker. And if we go right into a Mini P.E.K.K.A and a Tornado, this is going to be pretty fun. Never mind. 2 Mini P.E.K.K.As. Double the fun for us. Wow, he really hates Hog Rider. A top ladder player that hates Hog Rider this much? Well, I'm sorry, sir. You're going to see many more hogs to come. Also, the cool thing about this is the Mini P.E.K.K.As are never able to reach the Hog Rider in time, so he has to go for Tornado. Because if he didn't want to eat damage, that's what he had to do. So we can go in for a Mighty Miner last possible second, just go and pull the Mini P.E.K.K.A. And the cool thing about this is he's only going to get 1 hit, because the Mighty Miner just ramps up damage ridiculously quick. I can also go in for a Firecracker at the river right now, and if he decides to go and use the ability of the Monk, it's going to be okay, because I believe the Firecracker knocks herself back, so then he doesn't kill it. Yeah, look at that. At least she didn't get shot by the original shot. Like, she got hit by, like, some peripheral damage, not the entire thing. Wait, this guy is going to go in for an Electro Giant at the river. That's how traumatized he was of the Firecracker. He hates it that much. He built a deck to counter Hog Rider with Mirror, Mini P.E.K.K.A, and Tornado. And then, you know, when he can't counter the Firecracker, he's like, yo, I got Monk, and I also have arrows, and also on top of that, I have Electro Giant to reflect back the damage. His entire deck is built to beat this, but I don't think it's going to work for him. Oh, man, this is awesome. I have never seen something so satisfying when I've been playing a Hog Rider Firecracker deck. It's fun playing against the bad matchups because you're going to beat them anyway. All right, I'm going to go click the Mighty Miner Bomb just to blast back his units, and even if he just decides to go for a Tornado, it's not going to work out. We can go for a Firecracker here, make him go click the Monk ability before he wants to, because if he drops it early, then he's not going to have anything to counter the Bomb Towers. So I think he's waiting. He's just waiting. Yeah, he's trying to go and counter the Bomb Tower, but it's not going to happen. I'm so toxic. We're going to go in for a Firecracker Evolution right now. We're going to get an Ice Spirit on the field. We're going to follow through with a Log and a skeletons and an ice spirit, and you can't ever even touch my tower. Cool thing about this is I can consistently kite his units to the other side directly into the firecracker, so he never escapes this prison that the firecracker is confining him. It's awesome because it's like a paw print on the map. It's like just claiming our territory, the definition of a dog right now, and it's a dog-eat-dog world out here where this man, he's getting eaten alive. I think that the firecracker is also going to get protected by the mighty miner because the mini pack just dies to the mighty miner every time. Then I can go in for a hog rider because he's going to have to arrows on the firecracker. I love that the evolved firecracker on the right-hand side is about to do like 2,000 damage to his tower. Seriously, look at that. That's an evolved firecracker all by herself. It does 1,300 damage. That's so clean. I can go for a log and then one more earthquake and I walk with a win. So this guy is probably mentally shaken up after this one. So it's fitting that he loses to the earthquake. Every counter in the book and you still couldn't stop us. We threw the book at him and said, sir, you gotta go and rework your deck. And we might have traumatized him just enough to swap out his Electro Giant for a Mega Knight or a P.E.K.K.A. The Clash Royale World Champion Mojave Lights used this deck to finish number 2 in the world. Yo, we got a game against someone with an Elixir Golem banner. So with Mojave Lights deck, I think we're gonna be safe against almost anything in the game. Throw those Elixir Golems at me, bro. Okay, cool. You know what? We can activate King Tower quite quickly with a Fisherman because he's going to drop a Hog Rider first play. I love when people bombard us with a win condition at the start of the match, just because with Fisherman, we're always going to activate King Tower. So again, with Royal Giant, the best way of playing it is just spamming your Royal Giant at the river after you defend with your Lumberjack, after you defend with any of your cards like Fisherman or even a Phoenix. Because, obviously, if we get some damage here, that's a bonus. We don't really care, though. We just want to evolve our Royal Giant, and we have to get a Redemption Arc because we lost with it last time. So we're going to go for Skeletons and Electro Spirit here. And you guys might be saying, why would you do that, Jake? Can't you just go in for another Fisherman and stop all damage? I'd say, yeah, you can, but then you're not going to be back to a Royal Giant at the river instantly. This is how we love the deck. In Single Elixir, I kind of enjoy doing this just because it's fun to watch your opponent squirm when they have no elixir to defend, while your healthy Royal Giant bustles through and bursts through all their defensive units. And if they've got cannon, it's not going to be enough. They're still going to have to deal with the Royal Giant afterward. Can't go for Skeletons because the Royal Giant, each time it attacks, it blasts away any bait cards, crushing them instantly. So I bet you he's going to try to go for like an Ice Golem here. What I would do if I was him, I would go for an Ice Golem in front of the Hog Rider, so then I can't go for Fisherman to fully counter the Hog Rider. So yeah, that's exactly what he did. So that's why I set up my Lumberjack in the back to finish off the Ice Golem first, so then we can make sure the Ice Golem doesn't pop on our tower, and then we finish off the Hog Rider with only like 2 hits on the tower, and we get all this counter push to the Lumberjack, also the Fisherman on the right-hand side. Things are looking good is what I'm trying to say. Awesome Musketeer placement by him. I'm trying to thread the needle with the Fireball, but it just wouldn't go through. So I'm going to try to go in for a, I guess I can go in for a Royal Giant here and then just maybe go for like an Electro Spirit or a Barbarrel. Yeah, I'm going to get away with an Electro Spirit and spend minimal amount of Elixir. Go for a Barbarrel on top of the Skeletons. Try to get a Royal Giant through. This might be a bit of a risky decision, but I like playing risky right now. And I think the Royal Giant does deliver us a hit. So the Musketeer damage for the Royal Giant hit, I think that was okay. Not the worst trade, not the best trade in the world, but we'll take it. So we're going to Lumberjack in the left because we know he's going to try to go in for another Hog Rider relatively soon. And I can just continue to spam. This is how you play Clash Royale sometimes, guys. You go for Fireballs so then your opponent can't stack up too much stuff. When they don't have a Musketeer in cycle, you plop down your Royal Giant at the river and you look at yourself and you're like, hey, it's a good time. So yeah, he's going to have to go for Skeletons and they're just going to die to the Royal Giant. It's not really going to make that much sense for him. He's going to be like, Jake, why is this happening to me? We have to set up a lot of stuff because we know he's going to have to go for an Ice Golem here. We need to kill the Ice Golem this time so then the Ice Golem isn't able to body block for the Hog Rider. We need to have the Fisherman go pull that to the middle. With the King Tower, we take literally no damage. So we're going to go for another Royal Giant on the right, and with the Lumberjack on the left, we could have packed a Royal Giant on the left and then dropped another Royal Giant on the right, but I'd rather play it this way. We're going to go in for a Fireball here on the cannon. I think we're able to... Oh, yes! We hit the Musketeer too! I was going to say, I think we're going to finish off the game with a Barbarrel, but that Musketeer somehow finding a way into a Fireball... That was the best Fireball I've ever had. I can't believe that worked out. He's so incredibly tilted. If you guys are looking at his emotes, he did not enjoy this game. Well, I enjoyed it thoroughly, fireballing him out and just snuffing his torch. You did not outwit, outplay, outlast. The Royal Giant Evolution is the true survivor. And honestly, we probably didn't outplay either. The Royal Giant Evolution is just so dirty that it gives you free damage every time. And this Royal Giant deck reached number 1 in the world, claiming its throne as the best deck in the game. So this deck won the season, and there has to be a reason that it's stronger than the other Royal Giant decks. Just looking at it, there's only one change, and it's subbing out the Phoenix for a Hunter. The Hunter is way better against ground defense against people that are going in for aggressive bridge spam like P.E.K.K.A. and Bandit because it's actually able to be planted down and save your butt. However, the real benefit is what you just saw against Balloon. Just deleting it with literally 0 damage on my tower. That's incredible stuff. And that's why at number 1 in the world, you can't necessarily lose based off matchup ever. You can't ever be like, maybe this matchup's going to be really rough and tough for me. Because you'll have Hunter, you'll still stay solid and safe even in the face of a balloon with an Inferno Dragon, a Tombstone, and then maybe a Barbarian's Evolution. So let's get our redemption arc against Lava Hound Balloon and see if we can pull off a victory here. The guy's going to go in for a Mega Man in the back. Let's go in for a Fisherman in the right-hand side because it's not necessarily a beneficial card in this type of matchup. I'm also going to go for a Lumberjack as well. I wonder if this is smart because we should be able to kill this, right? If we go in for a Hunter, it will definitely go and target the Mega Minion first. I'm going to sacrifice an Electro Spirit, and then I believe that he's not going to be able to kill the Hunter because he spent so much Elixir on the right-hand side, right? We can go for a Fireball here as well, and then we should be able to blast all the Skeleton Dragons to bits and hit an amazing Fireball. Nice. Unfortunately, the Skeleton Dragon still ended up hitting my tower for a little bit of damage, but it's not terrible for us. Also, we can plant a Fisherman in front of our Hunter, and then the Hunter still, is forcing out arrows or something. Yeah, he ends up having to drop arrows. He can't just let the Hunter lock onto the tower with the Fisherman there. And he can't drop air cards on top because the Hunter will blast them to bits because the Hunter has such high damage in close range. The further you get away from the Hunter, the less damage the Hunter is going to do. But you want to drop something on top of the Fisherman so that the Fisherman doesn't go and jump on top of the tower. Okay, we can plant out a Royal Giant here. It's not necessarily the best decision in my life, but I think it's an okay play. And the reason why I'm going to do it, because I think he's going to go Lava Hound at the river, and I want to preclude that potential. Because if he decides to go in for an aggressive Lava Hound right now, I believe that he has to go for Barbarians. Oh, he's not going to try to do that. He doesn't even care. My man doesn't even care at this point. He's just going all in for the win. You know what? If I go Lumberjack, it's definitely locking onto your second tower. And then with the Lumberjack as well, I don't know what you're going to do. Because we can get back to another Hunter, and we have so much damage on the 3 crown right now. Okay, I want to go for a Fireball, but I don't want to do it too soon. I want to be able to hit the Lava Hound with this Fireball and hit all the pups and keep everything else alive for us. Wait, I'm just going to 3 crown him. I'm legitimately going to 3 crown him, and he's not even going to be able to take my second tower. This is ridiculous, and that's the power of Hunter. You guys can see the difference between how easy this game was and the other one. This one was a walk in the park as we stole each one of his crowns. The Royal Giant was able to reliably focus on royally wrecking our opponent, completely crumbling their castle because we could fully depend on the Hunter for defense. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more daily videos, and have an amazing rest of your day.